Okay, hi there. So we're going to be reviewing KDE Plasma Mobile again. I got halfway through doing this and then I realised they had a new build that came out like 2 days ago. So I started again. Well, hopefully we'll be third time lucky, because those issues in the other video were VirtualBox related issues. So they were not actually what happens in the real world. So as you can see here, we'll be using QEMU, as I call it, because I know I'm wrong, instead. With the new build, a hard drive, so we can try installing it. Some display stuff the bug reporter guy sent me, because I couldn't figure this out myself, because I'm not very good with QEMU. Networking, 2 gigs of RAM, and we'll use KVM to make it fast. So, let's go. I haven't tried this build, but there were a few known issues in the last one, including installing software and that kind of thing, so with some luck they'll have fixed them. We'll see. I meant to do this a little while ago, because I had some back and forth with the bug supervisor guy on the mailing list, and he suggested I try it in QEMU instead, and it worked just fine. I have to use CPU drawn graphics, because I'm on an older kernel, but yeah, it should be fine. Okay, so that one isn't fixed, but I won't have audio because I didn't set that up. But okay, so I'm just trying to figure out what difference is here. I'm not going to look at the keyboard thing because I tried that before and I don't really know what I was doing, but I messed it up. So first we're going to try installing it. I don't know what they've changed in this build, so this may or may not work depending. It didn't work in the previous build, but it turns out someone in the comments posted a way of making it start, so if it doesn't start we can just do it that way. It's not doing quite the same thing. I can see CPU load, so that's a good sign. Yeah, I'm not sure this is doing anything, but while we wait, I'll just take the time to mention that I've moved my blog. I was going to do this post last week, or video rather if you're watching this on YouTube, but I moved my blog because I wanted it all to be integrated. So instead of being at aeromania.altavista.org, it's now at hamishmb.altavista.org/blog. There'll be a link in the video description for that. So I've changed the theme and that kind of thing so it integrates more nicely. This doesn't look like it's working to me, so we'll quit. And we will do the alternate installation method in console. So apparently you do this. I don't know what the password is. Let's see if it takes a blank line. Yeah, okay. Okay, so I heard maybe we have to do this then. Okay, we'll just set a really rubbish password. Okay, that seemed to work. Switch to the root home directory and then run res. Oh, I think I spelled it wrong. Yep. Okay. I guess that's not going to work. Oh well. Let's try again. Couldn't open the display, it said. Okay, well... Okay, I guess we won't be installing it. Let's close this terminal. And it's black screen. Okay, it's still doing that then. That's a bit of a pain. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we'll revert to the command but the guy sent to me on the mailing list in case my custom command I wrote doesn't work. We did this before in this video that you won't see because I just started filming it again, recording it again, and it did the same thing, but then when I used this command, which is only very slightly different, without networking, it worked just fine. So we'll see. Hopefully this time I can do some things like install software though. So, first off, let's do what we usually do and have a look at the menus. We've already seen this one, so let's have a look at settings. I guess that shortcut doesn't work. So instead, let's go this way. There we go. So, oh, I've changed the order. Okay. So, developer mode, blah blah blah, don't know what that does. This is now working. I see, this is how it's supposed to work. It was being a bit flaky before. So let's switch this to breathe. Yeah, let's see. I like breathe dark. Oxygen's also quite nice, but we'll go with breathe dark. I mean, like, what mobile operating system comes with themes built in? Dummy audio output, because I didn't set any audio up, and these nice iOS style, well, reminiscent of iOS style options here. They've removed the option to change. Oh no, they haven't. There we go. So when I changed the font size before, yeah, it still does that. Things went a bit strange. I'm just going to put it back to where it was. I think that was better than what I've just done. It was like, I think it was there. Okay. So, App Switcher is nice. It's a bit like Android. It's not crashing, so I'm guessing whatever I was doing didn't work. So that's sort of the menus. I think that's sort of all the menus, unless we can swipe left or right here, like, maybe? No, okay. So, let's have a look at installing software, because they recommend we do a few things on their blog post, one of which is installing software. So, in the previous build this didn't work and it just gave an error. This time let's try installing Blender. Wow, that's already better. Authentication failure. Why would it be saying that? It's because I set the password, maybe. Because I need a password, that's why. Because I haven't set a password. And the menus have gone again. That's a bit of a pain. So instead of installing stuff, let's instead have a look at what applications that we've got on here and how it looks. Yeah, so scrolling works for a second. Ah, you can do it this way, can we? Yeah, okay. Oh, now it's gotten stuck. There we go. Yeah, so this would work fine on an actual phone or tablet again. It's a little bit buggy, but it's not a huge problem. So it looks like it's got sort of the usual Linux set of games. That looks fun. I might have to look at that. That sounds a little bit like Elite. That's quite a good game. Yeah, so we've got all sorts of things. Right. If we get to system settings, we've got things like BleachBit, GDebi. Yeah, because this is a Ubuntu based build. Come on. Maybe that's all there is here. Nope. K3B, my favourite disk burning program. I run it on Cinnamon, even though it's not KDE, it works fine. Thuna, Xterm, that kind of thing. GRSync, Multiwriter, didn't know about that one. departed. Okay. So this is all quite nice. It is a little bit buggy, but this is an alpha. So what do you expect? So, because I don't have the menu bars, I'm just going to have to close this and open it again, but that's okay. It's quick to boot up. So we've looked at the software manager customization we had a quick look at, because we have lots of different themes and we can change the font size, although it makes things go a bit screwy. We haven't really looked at the default applications that this comes with. This runs much better like this though, it had all sorts of weird graphical glitches in VirtualBox. Oh, and by the way, I know. Oh, yes, I'm being a bit stupid. The black screens aren't Plasma Mobile's fault. It does not like running at all with NVIDIA graphics cards, is what the problem is. And wouldn't you know, I have an NVIDIA graphics card. So, that's pretty typical. Yeah. So, I tried this with the Intel drivers. I forgot to do it with the Intel drivers. So just ignore the black screens, unless you have an NVIDIA card. Perhaps even just this NVIDIA card, it won't be a problem for you. So, I think next we should... I haven't really looked at these inbuilt applications. It's not really going to say anything because I haven't set anything up. But it's quite nicely made. So, yeah. So that's the VirtualBox. No, not VirtualBox. That's an NVIDIA thing. That's what it was doing before. So in terms of default apps, I'm just going to restart this again, sorry. In terms of default apps, we have desktop version of Firefox, which integrates really nicely, even though it's desktop. And we have a comic book viewer, an XMPP client, which apparently you use with Facebook. And I'm just trying to remember while it boots up what else we have. Well, it's here anyway. So we have camera, software center, Kaiden, console, a Mac program. That's another comic viewer. I guess that's a QEMU. That's quite funny. We have a image viewer, I guess. A couple of video players, screenshot taker application. No idea what this is. Let's have a look. Firefox looks really nice though. Even though it's desktop, it works pretty well. So if I can make it work well with desktop programs, that's great too. It is kind of buggy, but it's an alpha, so alphas are always buggy. Yeah, so just ignore all the black screens and that kind of thing. That's NVIDIA's wonderful drivers for you. I had tons of problems with NVIDIA drivers. The previous flickering issue we had with these videos was because of the drivers, but there was a setting I could flip and then it worked. I'm not sure this is going to launch because I'm looking at my CPU load up there and it's not really doing anything. Well, it is. It's just one core is locked at 100%, which suggests it's crashing, but we'll give it a little bit of time in case it's just a little slow, because we are running with CPU-drawn graphics and that kind of thing, which slows the whole thing down a lot. Okay, I don't think this is going to work. So we're going to use the lovely app switcher, if it fancies working. Yeah, it really did not like opening this, did it? Oh, did it just quit? Alright, well, that works for me. Let's have a look at Kaiden, because I also have no idea what that is. Oh, is that what this is? That's the XMPP client, but we're not going to be using that because I don't really know how to. We do also have some widgets to go on the desktop, but it's going to be difficult to show you them with the NVIDIA drivers, given that it keeps crashing. That's a bit of a pain. I don't really want to film this video a fourth time, though, so I think you can just ignore the crashes. It's an interesting way for it to crash, though. I'm not sure why it's doing that, but never mind. So soon we will have the PXC post, because I have a new laptop which was donated to me by a lovely lady at Wimborne Model Town. But it's EFI based, so the tutorial won't include a video showing it working or anything like that, because I'm going to have to tweak it. That will come later. But I want to get that PXC post done soon. I keep saying that. Soon means probably like within the next 2 or 3 weeks, because I have a lot of stuff to do right now. I always have a lot of stuff to do, but that's particularly demanding of time and concentration, whereas some of the things like this I can just do when I'm tired. So it's not so much of a problem. So I think we're done with that now. But I will see you in the next post very soon. Have a good one.